Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's short video, we will be discussing how to install and run Kafka as well as Zookeeper on our Ubuntu 20 system using the Kafka binaries. So let's quickly get started. Now, just note that Java is an absolute necessity for running Kafka in our Ubuntu system. So before we head further, let us quickly check if our Ubuntu system is equipped with Java. For doing that, I will simply say Java minus version. And here we can see that I have OpenJDK version 11.0 already installed in my Ubuntu machine. Now, if you don't have Java installed in your Ubuntu system, just simply run these two commands and Java will be installed for you. The first one being sudo apt install default JRE. You hit enter, and for me it says that default JRE is already at the newest version, so no need to upgrade or install or remove anything. And then we say sudo apt install default JDK. I hit enter and I get the same message for default JDK as well. After these commands, when we run java minus version on our terminal, you will get a similar looking output which will show you that Java is running in your Ubuntu system. And if you still need more help with installation of Java, you can watch the video linked in the I button above. So let's quickly head on over to our browser and start installing Kafka. So I am here at kafka.apache.org/downloads. I will link it in the description below, and the version which we will download and install is 2.6.0. I have to select the binary downloads, and the version I will choose is Scala 2.13. As you can see here, 2.13 is the recommended version. So let me click on this link and I am redirected to the page where they have the links for downloads. So what I'll do is I'll simply copy the link address and then I will head on over back to my terminal and I will say wget and then I will paste the link that I just copied from my browser. When I hit enter, we see that the wget command fetches this zip file for us and will just take a couple of seconds. So let's wait for this. And as you can see, the download is now complete. So what I'll do next is I will be extracting the contents of this zip file, and for doing that I will simply say tar -xvf and then I will give the name of the file that we just downloaded. Actually, let me just show you. If I say ls, this is the zip file which has been downloaded, and now we are going to extract it by saying tar -xvf and then giving the file name. Okay, so the extraction is complete. If I say ls, we can see that the zip file is already here and we also have a folder for Kafka. So if I cd into this directory, let me just check if the extraction happened correctly, and for doing that I will simply say bin/kafka-topics.sh. And yes, I see an output which says create, delete, describe or change a topic, which means that our Kafka scripts are able to run on our Ubuntu system. Now just make sure that you have Java installed, otherwise this step will definitely fail for you. Let us quickly see what else is inside the bin directory. So if I say ls bin, I see that the bin directory is full of so many scripts that help us interact with Kafka as well as Zookeeper. Now, I wouldn't always like to, write my commands as say bin Kafka topics. And, it wouldn't even work if I was like one directory above this and I said bin Kafka topics.sh. So to be able to run these scripts from anywhere within our system, we will make a small change in the file /etc/environments. Now before that, let me just again change into this directory and say pwd. I will copy this path. Then I say vim. I should actually say sudo vim/etc/environment. Here you can see that I have this variable called path, which is having all of these locations separated by colons. So what I'll do here is I will also add the bin directory of Kafka in the path variable. So I pasted the name of the directory that I just copied, and then after this I will say /bin. I hit escape and save this file, and the next thing I do is source/etc/environment. Now if I head back one directory and say something like okay, I don't need the bin here. If I say kafka-topic.sh, I get the same result as I was getting by running this command within the Kafka directory. Let me in fact head on over to my home directory, and then let me say the same thing, kafka topics.sh. And yes, so essentially all of these shell scripts are available to us on the path, and we can run them from anywhere within our Ubuntu system. In the final part of this video, we will now start running Zookeeper as well as our Kafka server. So let me quickly head back inside of my Kafka directory. And the first component that I will run is Zookeeper, because Kafka requires Zookeeper to start. To start running Zookeeper, I simply have to use the script Zookeeper server start.sh, and then I have to provide this script with a config file, which again is located within this Kafka directory, the path being config/zookeeper.properties. So once I hit enter, okay, we can see this statement binding to port 2181 on localhost, and we don't see any errors. So that means Zookeeper has started. Let's head on to one more terminal, and now let us start our Kafka server. For starting the Kafka server, I have to use the script called Kafka server start, and like the same way we did for Zookeeper, we have to provide it with the config file called config/server.properties. When I hit enter, we see this info log which says that Kafka server with ID 0 has started, which means Kafka is now up and running on our Ubuntu machine. Now, please just note that we simply used the default configs that were shipped with Kafka, but that does not mean that we cannot modify the config files to make change in some of the configs to suit our own environment. For example, I could just simply head on to a new terminal and I can say vim config/server.properties, and I can go inside and I can change any of the properties within this file. Let's say we want a different log directory for Kafka. It is right now set to /tmp/Kafka logs. Suppose I want it to be Kafka logs 1. I can go ahead and change it, and then I can restart my Kafka server so that the changes can take effect. For now, let's just let it be how we found it. But you get the point, right? This file can be changed by you as and when required. So let us close this, and I hope that Kafka is now running in your system as well. So if you found the content of the video helpful, please do hit the like button. If you find the content of my channel helpful, please click subscribe. You can hit the bell icon to never miss any new updates, and I'll see you very soon in a brand new tutorial. Like always, thanks a lot for watching.